Shall we clap in?
Yes, there's a fly in here.
Didn't we have a thing?
A thing?
Didn't we have, like, a, opening?
Oh, yeah.
For this podcast?
Yeah, I was, like, gonna do that, but I was just fucking around.
Because I thought I had it written down, and I cannot
I've been
find
practicing, so I got it.
Ha! Cool, okay.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Best Boys Deep Dive, our passion project both literally and figuratively. I'm your host, Jessie.
And I'm your co-host for this evening, Leo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
I swear I had it written down.
Mm-hmm. You ate it. You ate the piece of paper. You know what? No, Tyler ate it.
Yeah, Tyler sucks.
That was mean. So, last week, we talked about... I specifically talked for more than 2.5 hours about a direct-to-video animated movie from my childhood. And this week... Stop threatening me with those scissors. This week is no exception.
Oh, fantastic. This one, I am actually in the loop on, because I watched this one quite a bit as a kid as well.
Yeah.
One of our first inside jokes was from this movie,
I was going to say, this is kind of, this movie is interesting because it's sort of the birth of our friendship.
Yeah, it's like, we didn't even watch it together. We just quoted the fucking Egg song at each other.
So we're talking, okay, so for those, not in the know, we're talking about The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure.
Didn't you have that as my contact name in your phone?
Yes.
For a bit, yeah.
I sure did. Okay, so, Leo and I first met in, what was it, 3D character design? Was that?
Yeah, it was like a 3D character animation class. We did like Maya and like modeling and shit.
And,
the class was
interesting. It was interesting. Yeah, our professor Carlos was an interesting dude.
Yeah, he just like stopped teaching us like for a good month, and then just like okay,
just to watch YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, and like fuck around with his like 3D printer. Great.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I ended up dropping the class because I was bored with it.
And I got a 97 in it, so
yeah. So we were on opposite
wins?
ends. Yeah, we were on the opposite ends of that array. But in any event, Leo, I really wanted to be friends with Leo because he was the only person in the class who was very visibly like flagging like this is a gay person. Like either this is a gay person or this person is like very misguided in their fashion choices and hairstyling and just general everything.
Aesthetique.
Yeah, aesthetique. So anyway, what? What? Did you draw Daffy and Donald again?
No.
Did you draw Crowley and Aziraphale?
Aziraphale. I am drawing Crowley. I am drawing David Tennant for the first time since I was 15. And I got that mouth fucking perfect.
Oh my god. I can't believe you, Leo.
Time for them cheekbones.
I mean, shit, if you want cheekbones, you should have got more practice drawing Benedict Cumberbatch.
I drew him a lot too.
God damn it.
Anyway.
So I wanted to be like closer with Leo, and like we were talking for a bit, and I asked him about it, like the character he was designing in class, and it was a character called Egg Boy, who was a little over the garden wall looking dude,
motherfucker.
Yeah, with like an eggshell for a hat, and I just saw Egg Boy. And the first thing that popped in my mind was the Eggs song from Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure. And so I just said to him, eggs. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh, you know, like the Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure. They have the song about eggs. And you were like, I don't remember this.
And then I thought you were a fucking weirdo and we never spoke ever again.
Yeah, I'm talking to myself in a room right now. But yeah, that so we just kept quoting that back to each other for like the next couple of weeks. You came over to my house to dye eggs with me and my partner at the time, and
yeah.
I played that out of like a speaker, and you fucking lost it. Oh man. Anyway, I love you, buddy. You're my best friend.
Excellent song.
Yeah.
Excellent song.
Oh, they do say excellent.
Oh, absolutely. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, I tried to do some... Oh, you texted me. Oh, no, it's just the thing about my computer fucking up. I froze on the worst phase.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad, my friend.
That's really funny. So, I like with Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers, I tried to figure out, like, some behind-the-scenes, production history of this movie, because I find that stuff, like, really interesting. So here is some what little information I could glean of this movie. So it was released in 1994, a full like 6 or 7 years after the release of the first movie, which is never
a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good. I love Land Before Time 1. I think it's a beautiful film. But I will say, it's never a great sign when you release a movie 6 years after the original.
Oh, yeah. This was, like, the direct sequel. Because there's, like, 500 sequels to this fucking movie. Well, but, that is true.
Leo, I do want to ask you, how many Land Before Time movies are there? Your best guess.
Couldn't fucking tell you. So I know the one that I stopped on when I was a kid was Land Before Time 8, I'm pretty sure. Are we talking movies or like... Because there's a TV show as well.
There is a TV show, yeah.
So I'm not going to count that. Like, straight up, like, movie sequels.
Yes, movie sequels.
I'm going to go with 15.
There is 14 movies, 13 of which are sequels.
Shit, okay.
Yeah. It's
pretty
interesting.
Close.
Yeah, it's interesting because they released, I think, part 13 in, I want to say 2007, 2008, and they didn't release another one until 2014 or 15. So they waited, like, they were churning these out, like, every year or two, and then they just stopped for, like, 7 years, and then they picked it back up out of nowhere, and then they stopped again. It's super weird.
I watched, Brave Little Toaster with some friends not too long ago, and we were looking up the history of that. And the second one, Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue, came out full like almost 10 years after the first one.
Yeah, it did.
I enjoy it, but like that's like wild that it was spaced out so much.
Yeah. So this movie was released not in the cinemas, as you could probably imagine from looking at it. It was directed VHS and Laserdisc.
Cool.
It was directed by Roy Allen Smith, who I tried to find information on like what this guy's done. The only thing that he's noteworthy for in directing is Land Before Time movies 2 through 4, and the 4th ever episode of Family Guy.
Oh my god, that's so funny. What an unexpected, like, discography, I suppose.
Yeah, so, like, he's only done, like, 3 Land Before Time movies, a random season 1 episode of Family Guy from, like, 1999, and then nothing since, as far as I could tell. At least, like, nothing
cut it.
At least not, like, nothing of, like, note. So the animation for this movie was done by ACOM, who I think they're South Korean animation team. They have done work on The Simpsons, over 200 episodes of The Simpsons.
Wow.
The 90s X-Men show, a lot of episodes of Batman the Animated Series, Animaniacs, the Land Before Time movies 2 through 6, and all of season 4 of Transformers, the original series.
Oh, the 4th season.
Yeah, so they did some episodes of 2 and 3, but they did all of season 4.
So that was the season that was never aired in the U.S. That was the Headmaster series.
That's interesting.
That was an anime. It was the Japanese show.
Huh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it was super cool. I've seen a couple of episodes of it. I didn't watch the entire thing, but the characterizations are like super different in the Japanese dub. And just some of the stuff, the way it's translated into Japanese is just really funny.
Huh, that's interesting.
Like, Autobots are called Cybertrons, and the Decepticons are called Destrons. It's like, it's silly.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that ACOM was fired from animating Batman the Animated Series for inconsistent animation in episodes such as Cat Scratch Fever and Moon of the Wolf. So
interesting.
I just
so they suck?
They don't suck. I really like their character modeling and animation style. Maybe I'm it's interesting because like they also animated some of the best episodes, in my opinion, of Batman, including like the first episode with Clayface, which is a really like complex character to animate because he's a squishy blob man.
Yeah, he's all goopy.
Yeah, he's all goopy. And they also animated the second episode, which was Christmas with the Joker, which is the one that introduced the Jingle Bells Batman Smells thing.
Huh. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, just tying in some little fun facts here and there. Of the voice cast, of the main core voice cast of the movie, the 5 main characters, Candace Hudson. I wrote it down as Huston, but I feel like that's wrong.
Houston?
No, well maybe. I don't think that's how Houston is spelled though. Huston. I don't know. Candace Hudson. It's Hudson. I'm
Hudson. Okay.
I'm stupid.
Did you write it down wrong?
Yeah, I wrote it down wrong. I wrote Huston. Candace Hudson voiced Sarah in the original movie, and she's the only voice actress, the only person involved in the original movie at all to be involved with this one, which is really interesting to me. That like they couldn't get back any of the voice cast, any of the animation team, any writers, producers, anything for the sequel, which I think is interesting.
So Jeff Glenn Bennett voices Petrie.
Yes.
In like a lot of them. He wasn't Petrie in the original though, right?
No, he was voiced by Will Ryan in the original, who I only know for he voiced Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh one time in like the 70s.
Okay. That's cool.
That's all I know him for aside from Petrie. Jeff Glenn Bennett voices Petrie in all of the Land Before Time movies after the first one. He's the most consistent voice actor in all of these movies.
Johnny Bravo getting that
getting that Land Before Time money.
Land Before Time money, yeah.
Scott McAfee voices Littlefoot. I don't think he's been in anything since the 90s. I think he's a retired voice actor. But his older sister, Andy McAfee, went on a few years later to take up the role of Sarah in movies 5 through the present.
That's cool.
So it's interesting to me that like the older sister goes on to voice the character later on instead of getting like a younger actress.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
A lot of the time women voice like young kids, and like regardless of like what the gender of the character is supposed to be, a lot of the times they're like cast by women. That's like not at all surprising.
That's true, yeah, but like I don't know. It's interesting that like 3/4 or 3/5 of the kids in Land Before Time movies are typically, or at least in this one, are voiced by actual kids. The only two that
that's true.
The only two that aren't are Petrie and Spike.
Yeah, and they have
Spike
like
is just like
yeah, he just makes noises.
He just makes little like he just makes little like grunts and
and Petrie has like a silly voice.
Yeah, he has a silly voice. Which I will say, I know you really liked Petrie when you were a kid.
I like Petrie.
You had a little crush on him, I think you said.
I did, yeah. I was like 4.
I will say his voice gets really grating.
Does it really? That's so funny.
It's really...
That like doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest.
It's like, I feel like maybe if it was if I was watching an episode of the show where it's only like a half hour that I have to spend with Jeff Glenn Bennett as Petrie, it would be one
Mr.
thing.
Pete.
Yeah,
Mr. Pete.
that's just like the neighbor from Goof Troop.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Pete.
I never watched Goof Troop. I need to watch Goof Troop.
Me neither. I've heard it's good.
It sounds fun.
Yeah. Goof Troop. Yeah. Just the only thing I know is the theme song ends with Max in a deep voice saying, "Yeah."
Wait, that's Max?
It's not. It's like Max like says it, but like it's not his voice. It's just like,
oh, okay.
You know, it's just like the oh yeah, you know, kind of stock, whatever. And Heather Hogan voices Ducky, taking over from Judith Barcy, which I read that the Wikipedia article on her the other day in preparation for this. It's really fucking depressing story.
It's absolutely very upsetting, but it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, like, Heather Hogan's like a fine actress. She does okay in this. She's no replacement, and it's not her fault that like she had to replace this actress who had some really bad things happen to her, like in her personal life. It's not her fault that she's not as good, but
was she a child?
She was a child,
actor?
yeah.
Okay. I was curious if they replaced what was her name?
Ducky.
The original?
Oh, yeah, Judith Barcy.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if they got like an adult to replace her.
No.
And I was like, of course it's gonna sound fucking weird. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. She's like still voice acting today, mostly in like a Final Fantasy JRPG type stuff.
Really? That's interesting.
She's mostly like a dub actress nowadays, so she still has like a name for herself. So good for her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and Rob Paulson is Spike. Not a whole lot to say there.
Yeah, he just kind of goes.
He really collects that paycheck, but they do make him work in these movies because they give him like 2 other voices. Usually, they give him at least like 1 other person voice like per movie, which I find very funny.
he was one of the Egg Boys.
He's one of the Egg Boys. The movie contains original songs written by Irish folk trio The Roaches. I was gonna listen to some of their discography before recording this episode, but I forgot to. But I've heard that they're like actually really well acclaimed. Like their some of their albums have like 5 stars from like Rolling Stone and whatever, so like they're pretty well regarded. So it's interesting that these songs are maybe not the best written songs ever put to film.
That's totally fair.
But this is I found interesting and wrong.
Cool. Good start.
The Land Before Time 2 places 7th on Games Radar's list of the 50 worst kids movies.
Oh my god. And it's a children's movie. And it's not that bad.
Here's the thing. I compiled a little list of my own of movies that are on the list like below Land Before Time 2 that I consider to be far worse than this movie. This includes Shark Tale, The Sandlot 2, that one animated Titanic movie with the rapping dog that Dougie McCritic reviewed that one time.
And it had the horrible octopus with like the dog face.
That was the other Titanic movie he reviewed.
God,
because for some reason there was more than one animated Titanic movie with like that placed a focus on like mice on the ship. For some reason, that was a thing.
And it's also like sort of a ripoff of American Tail.
Yeah, it's so weird that that's like a thing that's happened more than once. But anyway.
Hey, is this allowed? Can we do this?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Inspector Gadget, the one with what's his face, Matthew Broderick. Both Baby Geniuses movies. Both Daddy Daycare and Daddy Day Camp, Rock-a-Doodle, The Cat in the Hat, the one with Mike Myers.
Oh, I like Rock-a-Doodle.
Rock-a-Doodle is not that bad, but it's definitely not it's not bad, and it doesn't deserve to be on a list of the 50 worst ever kids movies. And it's definitely not, but it's definitely not better than Land Before Time 2, I think.
Oh yeah, you are pulling this from the actual list. Okay, never mind. I thought you just like pulled that by yourself. I'm like, oh, I thought you liked it.
No, this is not. No, to clarify, this is the list of movies by Games Rated R. These are all the movies that are on the list, but were beat out by Land Before Time 2 for the 7th place spot. So the Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers, Kazam, the Shaquille O'Neal rapping genie movie.
Cool.
One Italian Pinocchio movie that has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Son of the Mask, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah.
North. Remember North?
Oh.
Dougie McCritic's review of North.
I remember watching that movie with my parents.
Oh really?
Pretty racist. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's super racist and like
a ton of racism.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like real bad.
Yeah, Batman and Robin.
It's like surprisingly bad.
Yeah, Batman and Robin and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. So all of these movies that I just listed off either have already been reviewed by Dougie McCritic or are something that he would conceivably very likely review.
Yeah.
And all of them are considered by Games Rated R to be better than Land Before Time 2, which is the 7th worst. Here's the thing. I'm not even sure Land Before Time 2 is the 7th worst Land Before Time movie.
That's fair. Yeah.
I genuinely...
I'm sure there are
like, I'm not for sure on that, but it's definitely not in the bottom 5 of Land Before Time movies. So therefore...
Is it... Are you, like, pitching this episode because it's a bad movie?
I'm not pitching this movie because it's a bad movie. It's because I'm pitching it as... I feel like we didn't explain the show very well last week.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah, because we just
We're bad at this.
We just sort of rolled into it. Because I think Best Boys was a pilot. Our pilot for Best Boys was like very explanatory of like, here's what the show is. It was a full like pitch for the show basically. And then the pilot...
It's hard to get a pitch in when you're actually doing the damn thing.
Yeah, so the pilot for Deep Dive was sort of just like doing a regular episode. So the show...
It's like an example.
Yeah. The show is basically like we're looking at things we're passionate about. It could be a movie, or it could be a series of movies. It could be a TV show. It could be a video game. It can be a comic book. It can be...
A method of animating a... type of historical code for Hollywood movie directors. Yeah, I'm getting into the history side of shit. I'm gonna get real
for sure. It could
academic.
It could be just something interesting and fun that we want to talk about. It's whatever. So no, I do not think Land Before Time 2 is a bad movie. I don't think it's a very good movie, but I don't think it's bad. I think its biggest crime that it commits is
being a sequel.
Being a sequel
to like a pretty artsy film.
To being a very beautiful, touching movie that touches on some really heavy themes and is really emotional and defined a lot of childhoods. And then the sequel is like way dumbed down for like a preschool audience.
Very goofy. Just like
and like that's I'll give you that, but like there's 14 of these movies. And
there's bound to be worse ones.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and say like the third one is definitely worse than the second one.
And what was the third one? What was that one called?
The Time of the Great Giving. It's the one where there's no water in the Great Valley anymore, and they have some bullies.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's just it's a movie where nothing happens ultimately. I'll also say that movie 9 is also worse because I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember the Rob Paulsen Rainbow Dolphin being incredibly annoying. I
don't remember like anything about that film, but that sentence is just the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Rob Paulsen Rainbow Dolphin.
Yeah. There's a movie called Invasion of the Tiny Sauruses. And even as a kid, I remember just thinking that title was incredibly cringy and annoying.
Oh yeah, I thought it was really dumb.
Yeah. That was around the time I started to check out of the series. But yeah, like, this is not the worst Land Before Time movie. It's not one of the worst kids movies ever made. It's just not particularly, like, a very well-made, well-structured film.
It's not a masterpiece, but it's not trying to be.
Yeah, it's a very, like, cute... It's a cute little innocent film. There's nothing, like, inherently, like, terrible about it. Although... I will say...
Although...
If we're rolling into this movie, which I guess we probably should at this point...
Yep.
The nitty and the gritty. This movie does open with, like, a very cartoonish Universal intro. Like, it opens with, like, the Universal Earth logo, sort of, and then, like, a little cartoon airplane flies around and, like, is like, oh, hello, I'm a little cute airplane, because it's like the...
Oh, you know what? I remember that, because it was, like, the kids' version.
Yeah, it's Universal, like, cartoon division or whatever, and it's like, it really like, it's only here to remind you, hey, this movie is for preschoolers. What are you doing, grown adult woman, watching this?
Yeah, like that movie.
I'm going through a quarter life crisis, damn it, leave me alone.
It's definitely like a, hey,
yeah,
you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, settle. I feel like that should have been, like, the first warning to the people being like, this movie sucks and whatever. Like,
yeah,
this movie's very clearly for small children. So, the opening narration, because all these movies have an opening narration, and they all kind of read about the same. And it's...
Long ago, in a big old fat valley,
pretty much,
it's a ton of fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And they were all very good friends.
Yeah, it always opens with, like, you know, many eons ago, the Earth was young. You know, it just...
Fuck, I forgot to say eons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely be in that.
And it's, it's the voice of John Ingle, who does the narration for these movies. He's also the voice of Daddy Tops. So Daddy Tops narrates these movies in, like, a very calm, soothing voice, but then whenever he has to be Daddy Tops, he's like, Sarah, I'm like, a big racist.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, I'm racist. It, like, says on this dude's Wikipedia article that he's fucking racist. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Daddy Tops has been diagnosed with racism.
So, also, it's really funny because he's, at one point he says that the Great Valley is safe from predators, but he says it as predators, which I thought was very funny. Like, that little sort of accent. But he introduces all the characters, and we roll into the first song, which is Peaceful Valley, and it's all just about how they like living in the Great Valley, and it's real good, and they're having fun. And look,
and nothing bad ever happens.
And look, I sang along. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I sang along to this damn song.
It's probably, like, pleasant. It's probably like cute. A fine fucking...
It's very cute. It's like, it's not... I'll say it's not the best sung song I've ever heard. Because it is mostly sung by children, and Jeff Glenn Bennett doing it in horrible little Petrie voice. Hello.
I, like, don't even know how to even begin to replicate Petrie's voice.
God, me fucking neither. I just tried to, and I was like, shit, I don't know how I could do it.
It's, like, in my brain.
Yeah, like, I can hear it.
I don't know if I can summon Petrie. I don't know what he says.
It's mostly, like...
Oh, he talks in, like, broken English, doesn't he?
He talks like Elmo. That's the thing I was trying to, like, explain earlier of how he's, like, a little bit grating. It's like, Elmo is a lovely little character. I like Elmo from Sesame Street a lot. I think he's very cute. But if I had to hear a full hour of Elmo just saying, Elmo is a big friend to everyone, and whatever, I would, like, want to strangle him by the end of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I would start looking for the nearest window so I could throw both myself and him out of it.
Oh no. He can't fly, can he? That sucks.
What did you think Elmo could fly?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Petrie still.
No! I'm talking about Grover. No, not Grover, Elmo.
What the fuck?
Grover can
you
fly.
Keep your own story straight.
Grover can fly. He's super Grover.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm trying to summon a Petrie impression. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Let's hear it.
Wasn't he like... He was like a coward, wasn't he? That was like a thing.
Yeah, he was definitely like a little chicken boy. He can fly now. That was his arc in the first movie, was that he couldn't fly, but then he learned at the end.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember a lot of shots of them on like, falling off of cliffs or whatever, and he'd just be like, Petrie, no like.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that actually sounds a lot like Petrie from the first movie. I think Jeff Bennett's voice is a bit more annoying.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely
I remember them.
It's more nasally, maybe.
I remember them like sounding similar. I don't remember it being particularly nasally. It had something to it.
Maybe not nasally, but like there's some sort of like grime or something in the back of his throat. There's a little bit of a, you know what? There's kind of a gravel. I think like he just goes.
Yeah, it's like slightly gritty.
Yeah. His
voice is slightly gritty sounding.
Yeah.
So he's like kind of cutesy and like talks not so great because I think they're still kids. Like Petrie's still like a kid even though he's voiced by like a grown-ass adult person.
Yeah, he's voiced by Johnny Bravo, as you said earlier.
Yeah, oh my god, he's voiced by Johnny Bravo and fucking Prowl from Transformers Animated.
Yeah.
Petrie, no light.
That's really fucking good.
Littlefoot, kill your parents.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to sound like Skeletor.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, it's me, Petrie.
I'm gonna kill the Sharptooth, and then I'll tame the Sharptooth, and then he can kill Keyman.
Yeah.
Sans Undertale. Hang out with me.
No. Let me hit that bong.
Anyway, so I want to say that, like, the animation in this movie is not stellar, and I feel like part of that is I'm comparing it to the animation from the first movie, which is, it's Don Bluth.
Yeah, it's like
it's
good. It's widely really regarded as being a well-animated film.
Yeah,
I don't think that's like
fucking beautiful. But like the animation is definitely like not to that caliber. There isn't a whole lot of shading in like the character models. It's like very like flat.
I remember that, and the colors were very saturated. They weren't like.
I'll say that they're kind of desaturated. They're definitely more saturated in like the later movies, but there's sort of no color palette to this movie, I've noticed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll say sort of a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, for future films or future episodes of these films that we'd be doing. I think the director of movies 5 onward has a bit more of a handle on like color theory,
like aesthetic choices.
Yeah, there's a lot more like sunsets and like striking color choices in like particularly 5 and 6, I remember. And then they just switched out animation studios for like 7 onward, so
they just dropped the fucking ball on that one.
Yeah, so they went to a different art style completely. In any event, the backgrounds in this movie though are really pretty to look at. Like they're all
That's
sort
cool.
of like they look. I'm not sure if they're painted or if they're like oil or something, but they look really nice.
They're probably painted.
Yeah,
they're probably painted. That's like, I mean, they put like the clear shit on
Oh
top.
yeah,
so.
I mean, I meant like watercolor or like acrylic. I'm not sure like what kind of paint it was, but like it looks very pretty, I think.
I want to say a lot of backgrounds are actually done with like acrylic or gouache paint. I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate though.
Yeah. So it is at this point that we are introduced to Ozzy and Strut,
the best characters in the movie. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, they're definitely the funniest. Also, I didn't mention this up top, but like I wrote down in my notes, Grandpa Longneck looks like my dad, and I don't know what to do with that information, I don't know what what kind of Freudian whatever you want to read into that. But it's definitely like...
you mean Grandfoot? Grandfoot looks like your dad? Fucking Grandfoot? Littlefoot's grandpa, Grandfoot? You fucking idiot. You thought you couldn't reference that joke?
I forgot about it. I forgot. So Leo did a bit to me the other day about how he and his friends call him Grandfoot. And I think it's the funniest shit in the world.
It's so funny. It's like his name is Littlefoot. Wouldn't it be funny if his dad's name was Bigfoot and then his grandpa's name is Grandfoot?
Yeah, we do meet Bigfoot in a later movie, and he's voiced by Kiefer Sutherland.
Mr. Lost Boy himself, Kiefer Sutherland.
God, he probably got that so much in high school. Oh my god.
Oh god, poor dude. You're absolutely right.
Have you ever seen that video of him drunk at a Christmas party jumping into a Christmas tree?
Yeah, he like tackles a tree.
It's so funny.
My mom was really into Kiefer Sutherland when I was like, God, I think middle school, because she was really into 24. Yeah, I sure saw that video when I was like, when I was younger.
Fantastic. Ozzy and Strut, voiced again by Jeff Bennett and Rob Paulson, doing British accents.
Ozzy!
It's weird.
Ozzy!
It's weird to me that accents exist in Pangea.
Yeah, fucking England exists.
Yeah, like...
Can you fucking imagine?
Oh yeah, we just came over for some fish and crisps, and
it's chips.
No, well yeah, but like chips, like potato chips are called crisps.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say fish and chips. And I
know,
was like,
but there's also like fish and crisps. I think that's a thing. Anyway. Rob Paulson doing a British accent, it just sounds like Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
Oh yeah,
because it's almost the exact same voice.
I mean, can you blame him? It works.
And it is, of course, with this first introduction to these characters that we get our first
villain song.
No, not yet.
Oh,
that's a bit later. You're jumping the gun there.
Damn, I wanna talk about this song so badly. It's so funny.
We'll get to it. The sound effects and like the sound mixing in this movie is so ingrained in my brain because I watched the movie so many times when I was a little kid that like,
you know what, I would probably have that same experience.
The sound of like just the footsteps or like a tree like leaves rustling or like a character chewing a leaf or.
Fuck, all of the leaf eating. Like,
yeah. When
I watched Land Before Time as a kid, I ate so much lettuce. Because I was like, I'm gonna eat this fucking tree star.
Yeah.
Eat my ass.
Did you ever try to, like, eat a regular leaf and then you're like, this tastes like shit?
No, I wasn't a fucking dumbass.
Oh, well, anyway. Remember, so the movie, the first movie, The Land Before Time, from 1988, directed by Don Bluth, produced by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.
That one.
Yeah, the entire, like, you know, theme and structure of it, it's a coming-of-age movie about, like, you know, these kids who are all lost and alone. It's like Stand By Me, but with dinosaurs. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I haven't seen Stand By Me.
I mean, there is a dead body, but it's Littlefoot's mom.
Shit. Damn. But yeah, they're all alone, and...
Sasha really likes Stand By Me, by the way.
Yeah, I know she does. But they're all alone, and one of them's a racist against the others. They're all, like, different dinosaur ethnicities, and they... Leo's losing his shit at dinosaur ethnicities.
Yeah.
I think we might have found the title for this episode already.
Dinosaur ethnicities.
So
So funny.
And it's they're trying to find their way home to their families, and it's very touching and moving and beautiful. And Leo's doing a dumb little bit with his pencil.
You're not supposed to look at me. Stop perceiving me.
Why am I not supposed to look at you? We're on a video call.
I have to... I can't just, like... If you're gonna be rattling off about this movie, I need to have something to keep me occupied.
No, go right ahead. But also, I should be allowed to make fun of you. Because you make fun of me constantly.
I exist to make fun of you.
You do. You sure do. Anyway, so the plot of that movie was all of that, what I just said. And the plot of this movie is... Littlefoot's tired of being a kid. He wants to grow up.
No, you don't, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, because growing up fucking sucks. And, like, Grandfoot tries to tell him that.
Grandfoot's like, hey, don't.
He's like...
Hey, it sucks, dude.
Grandma Longneck and Grandfoot are both just like, hey, listen, you think you want to grow up, like, right now. But trust me, you fucking don't.
It sucks real bad.
When you grow up, you'll just wish you were young again. And fuck if that ain't true.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? No, I never wish that I was a child again. I've been depressed until, like, 4 years ago. I'm totally fine being an adult.
That's fair,
Also,
yeah.
I can get drunk as shit legally and, like, live with my partner. And, like, I love being an adult, actually.
You know what?
Being an
Yeah.
adult fucking slaps.
I was watching a video about, like, it was super not related to this. It was about, like, movies and whatever. But he just went on a weird tangent out of nowhere. Like, this existential tangent about family and, like, having kids and, like, growing up and whatever. It was really nice. But anyway, he starts talking about, like, being a kid fucking sucks. Because you can't do anything. You're just constantly, like, everything you do is at the whim of just someone else. Sometimes, like, really cool people, but a lot of the times, just absolute shitheads. And when you become an adult...
I, like, felt that as a kid.
Yeah.
I, like, felt, like...
Because you can't, like, go anywhere without your parents. I
hated being a kid. Yeah. I'm so glad I'm a fucking adult.
John Mulaney has a bit where, like, he was the little kid and he walked into, like, a supermarket or whatever, and the cashier just turned him and said, "No!" And he left.
Oh my god, poor thing.
Like, that sucks, but it's so funny. He just goes, "Oh, okay." Guess I'm not supposed to be here.
Guess I'll fucking die.
So Littlefoot runs on with his friends to play a game where they roll rocks down a hill, which is not a very good game.
Safe.
Here's the thing: there's a nest at the bottom of this hill. And a mom dinosaur comes up and it's like, "Hey, fucking, you're gonna kill my babies if you don't knock this shit off."
Hey, cut that shit out or my kids will literally die.
Yeah, holy shit. They almost committed infanticide.
Oh my god.
I wrote that down.
Cool.
I wrote that down as, like, Littlefoot and Sarah almost accidentally committed infanticide. Which is such a sentence.
Oh yeah.
But
Grandfoot will have words about that.
Listen to this movie is Don't Kill Infants. This movie's secretly pro-choice.
Oh no.
Or no, it's pro-life, unfortunately. But no, so although the rock rolling it is useful because it deters Ozzy and Strut because the rocks land on their head and knocks them out, and it's
I can, like, hear the sound effects of that, and they're being like, "Oh,
and
fuck!"
like the rock lands on his head, and, like, Ozzy, like, the egg rolls out of his hand and, like, lands back in the nest. And, like, the rock bounces off his head and lands in his hand, and it doesn't look, and he just bites into it, and he just goes, "Oh!
Oh, fuck!
Oh, I'm Jeff Bennett! Oh, bloody hell!"
No, he sounded more posh.
Yeah.
Mr. Rob Paulson
Strut
was the
is
one.
like, "Hey, Ozzy!
Hey, Ozzy!
What are we doing tonight?" "Same thing we do every night, Strut. Try to take over the eggs."
Try to eat all of these fucking eggs.
It's Ozzy and the Strut It's Ozzy on the strut.
The worst TV show in the fucking universe.
God, could you imagine a show of, like, just these clowns?
I would watch it so much.
It's interesting that, like, these characters
I would draw fan art of these fucking characters.
These characters never show up. Oh, fuck, that reminds me. Okay, so I was about to say these characters never show up again. And that technically is true, because even though a lot of characters from Land Before Time movies show up in either later movies or the TV show or whatever, these characters never reappear again, even in the TV show. Which I always thought interesting.
They fucking died!
Well, they sort of get, like, chased off by the sharp teeth at the end of the movie. So it's kind of implied that they just get eaten off screen.
Oh no, that's funny.
But here's the thing. So I was on the Land Before Time wiki. So there's a cameo, a very brief appearance of two Struthiomimuses. Struthiomimi? I don't know. In Land Before Time 4.
Dinosaurs. The plural is dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah. Fuck. I'm so glad that someone agrees with me that, like, that's such a funny and memorable line from Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Because, like, I would do that to my parents, and they'd be like, what's that? And I'd be like, it's the little DNA dude from Jurassic Park. And they'd be like, I don't get it. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not get it? It's the DNA dude from Jurassic Park who says dinosaurs.
Yeah, how do you, like, not think that that's the funniest shit in the world?
It's funny. He has a funny little accent. Anyway, so they, two Struthiomimuses who look similar to Ozzy and Strut appear in Land Before Time 4 for a brief second. And there's a bit of debate in the Land Before Time fandom, which does exist, whether or not these characters are Ozzy and Strut. And here, I want to read you a comment from the Land Before Time wiki page for these characters. This is a comment left in 2017 by Dark Intentions, is the user's name.
Okay.
I loved these guys as a kid. Ozzy, presumably named for Henry Fairfield Osborne, the man who identified and named the Struthiomimus species, and Strut for the species name. The genius shit one can discover in children's films as an adult. I love these guys as a kid.
That actually is really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's like a cool little reference.
Yeah. I love these guys as a kid. He says it again. They were unique antagonists. As for the Struthiomimus cameo in 4, in spite of the constant character color shifts throughout the installments of the franchise, I disagree that either of the two seen running by in the old one's Tale of the Valley of the Mists was Ozzy or Strut. Both had light gray accents. Ozzy's accent was a ashy gray, and Strut's a quite lovely mossy brown, very symbolic of the fact that he prefers exclusively a herbivorous diet. From what I can tell from all existing Struthiomimus cameos, Strut's accent color stands on its own. It's never seen apart from him. That light gray accent seems to be the default. I'd have loved for Ozzy and Strut to appear again. I've come up with a headcanon story that I idealize. So, it gets better. Here's his headcanon of, like, what becomes of Ozzy and Strut after the end of Land Before Time 2.
I am on the edge of my fucking seat.
After the events of Land Before Time 2, Strut sees Ozzy, that's Rob Paulson, the vegetarian,
the weenie guy.
The weenie guy, yeah. Sees Ozzy as the dangerous psychopath that he is, but is unable to muster up the courage to ditch him until he finally meets a female by the name of Ruth, or as he comes to commonly call her Ruthie, who shares his preference for the herbivorous diet. They become mates and move to the Great Valley, where they hatch a daughter named Ivy and a son named Theo, who becomes members of Littlefoot's gang. Strut is adamant that Ozzy is to never come anywhere near his children with his vile and dangerous influence. And all the replies to the comments are like, oh, that's interesting.
I don't know why that was the funniest part. Like, it's one thing if this person is just, like, screaming into oblivion, like, Aussie Fox! Aussie Fox!
No,
Strut
Strut
essentially
Fox.
what this... No, you're right. Strut Fox.
Strut Fox Roofy.
Yeah, apparently.
Who's
Like,
a character that we've never heard of. So he just...
it's their OC... It's their self-insert.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because Dark Intention sounds like such an edgelord dude's name.
You'd be surprised.
That's true. I don't know. But there's so much to unpack there. The fact that, like, the female character has to save him from, like, his trauma or whatever, that she only exists to, like...
Yeah, that sucks. Are you, like, critiquing the, like... misogynist aspects of this person's dumbass Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure headcanon?
Yeah,
Mon frere.
I take umbrage with some of their choices in their fan fiction, because it has some problematic aspects to it, I think.
Yeah, it's misogynist and bad and just, like, stupid. Like, why?
So... It's the
fucking worst. Can we move on?
I just wanted to get that out there. I thought it was very funny. I just wanted to share that with you and the listeners.
Thank you for that.
So
Dr. Phil voice, thank you for that.
So this is after the mom dinosaur is like, "Hey, stop almost killing my kids." Ducky suggests that they play Sharptooth Attack, which I think is in very poor taste, considering Littlefoot's mom was literally murdered by a sharp tooth.
Yeah, that's...
And considering that he's still a young kid, I can't imagine that much time has passed between movies 1 and 2. And even if it has, he was a kid when his mom was murdered. Like, that
like, in
sticks
front
with
of him.
Yeah, she died in front of him. Like, that sits with you. And she's like, yeah, let's just play a fun game of Sharptooth Attack. Like, that's kind of like, fucked up.
Like, it's like saying, like, hey, William, you want to hang out and talk about Pearl Harbor? Like, what?
Yeah, it's...
Let's dig up all of your trauma.
There's a lot going on there. So, I'll just say that the plot, like, really meanders and, like, does nothing of interest until Chomper shows up. Which is
fuck,
like
he was in this.
Yeah. he shows up at like the halfway mark, but until then it really is sort of just like nothing going on. Except for there's a little bit of excitement that we're about to have. So they decided that the best place they could play Sharptooth Attack is on the other side of the sinking sands.
Cool.
Because in these movies, like, everything is like every word is like babyfied in some way, so like rain becomes sky water, and that's very Warrior Cats, with like the road being referred to as like the Thunder Path or whatever, which is fucking dope, by the way. Yeah, that's cool.
Thunder Path is like super cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just there's a lot of like just come on. Like, I know this movie's for preschoolers, but, like, you can say rain. You know?
Yeah, preschoolers know what rain is.
Preschoolers definitely know what quicksand is, because it's, like, in every kid's show ever.
I, like, definitely thought I was gonna get eaten by quicksand when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's, like, one of John Mulaney's, like, first stand-up bits is, like, quicksand is less of a problem than I thought it was gonna be in adulthood.
I thought I was going to be, based on all of those, like, things that we had to deal with in like preschool and like elementary school and shit, I thought that I was going to be offered drugs and on fire a lot more than I ever was in my life.
Have you ever seen or heard of anyone who has actually stopped, dropped, and rolled?
No, I have not.
Because
I don't know anybody that's ever been on fire.
I honestly don't know if that's even effective, because it doesn't, like, thinking about it now, it doesn't sound that effective, but I don't want to, like, deter anyone from using a tactic that could possibly save their lives. Anyway, completely off topic, but anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, but, Littlefoot is like, oh, I don't know if we should if we should cross the sinking sands because that's like dangerous. And
I remember this scene. I remember them getting stuck.
yeah. And Sarah says that she could cross the sinking sands with her eyes closed, which prompts Petrie to try walking with his eyes closed, and it leads him into bumping into Spike, which startles both of them for some reason. Like I said, really nothing happens for like a good long while. Sarah calls them scaredy eggs for not for not going with
Eggs.
Scaredy eggs is I don't know what to make of that. I'm definitely like,
it's supposed to be like babies.
I know, like, you know, it's like, or scared. It's sort of somewhere between scaredy cats and like babies.
Yeah.
But also
still like dumb.
Yeah, like, I don't know. You don't call someone like a cowardice fetus, you know, which is basically the equivalent, you know.
If somebody called me a cowardly fetus, my wig would be hurled into the rafters.
You'd be snatched bald. So they start to cross the singing sand. Sarah goes first, and we get the first edition of Sarah's, I guess this is her classic catchphrase, because I hear this in like all of the sequels. She says "he" whenever she does something, like whenever she makes a sort of like big jump, or she like goes to ram her horn into something, she goes "he."
I think I remember that.
Like, it was something that I never noticed when I was a kid, but like watching these movies now, I'm like, she does say "he" a lot.
She really likes He-Man.
He. It just makes me think of like the. It just makes me think of "ye."
Yeah.
which is from like a bootleg knockoff of The Land Before Time.
You mean that wasn't the real one? You mean that wasn't Don Bluth?
Yeah, Leo, I got some bad news for you.
I for one am shocked.
I know. We're not talking about that movie today, Leo. We're talking about a different movie. God. Anyway.
I apologize.
Yeah,
continue.
no, it's fine. So
it's whatever.
They all start to cross the sinking sand, and they all start sinking, which might surprise you to
surprising
know.
Absolutely no one.
And Petrie does this bit where he just tries to figure out what to do for like maybe 10-20 seconds, where he's just like, wait, what do I do? I'll pull you. No, I'm not strong enough. Wait, I'll call for help. No, I can't. We're not supposed to be here. And he just like keeps like yelling at himself, like, oh god, what do I do? Sort of. Like, he just has like a full panic attack.
Petrie's character just seems to be like having a panic attack.
Kind of, yeah.
That's like his whole thing.
Yeah. They're pulled out by their parents, who are very unhappy. And we cut to later. The sun is setting, and it's a wide shot of the valley. And there's a bunch of dinosaurs that are just, like, statues. Like, they're not moving. And then a few frames later, they start moving. And there's... So they just sit there, like, just doing nothing. They're waiting for their cue. To, like the director going, action.
And... now.
Action! Like, they didn't hear the first time. They're like, oh shit.
Oh shit, I gotta run across the valley.
It's really funny. It's just something that, like, I picked up on while watching. I was like, wait a minute. They definitely, like, stumble to move. They definitely don't move when they're supposed to here.
They're like, oh shit.
So
the boss will yell at me if I don't start walking.
We see Ozzy and Strut again, and Strut, before he meets Ruthie, says, tells Ozzy that he's exhausted.
Poetic cinema.
And then, Leah, we get the musical number. The second song of the movie, Eggs.
Yes. The best song in the world.
When I wake up, first thing I do, eggs. Is to look around for something to chew. Exactly. Feeding myself is very, very tricky because you see...
I'm ridiculously picky!
Eggs. Oh, man.
To feel them, smell them.
Oh, crack them
open!
Like...
I can't wait to hear the audio feedback of that.
Oh my god.
Because I've got headphones on, I can barely hear myself, so that'll be fun.
Same. Oh my god, I wonder what my roommates think of me.
Tyler's in the other room, like, just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. But you know what? I don't care what my roommates think of me. They kind of suck. Anyway.
Anyway.
So this is interesting. This is one of the few times that they actually say the name of a dinosaur species in the movies, because the song has the lyric, "This Struthiomimus won't settle for the dregs." Which is interesting that like they mostly refer to them as like three horns, long necks, whatever, spike tails, and then you get Struthiomimus just out of nowhere.
They like straight up just could not think of some bullshit like.
Yeah. Later on they called them
boys.
Later on they called them egg stealers. But I guess it's not like doesn't have quite the same ring to it as like three horn or long neck.
Yeah, I always thought that those names were like kind of cool actually. Like
yeah.
They were like accurate enough that you knew what they were talking about, but it was still like, I don't know, vaguely mystical sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I don't know. They're stupid dinosaurs. They don't know anything. Like
yeah.
Of course there would be like some mystery to that sort of thing.
Yeah. This is something I picked up on after when I was in high school. I watched Mars Girl. He used to be on Channel Awesome alongside Dougie McCritic. She isn't anymore because no one is. No one's with Dougie McCritic anymore except for himself and his dumb little friends. But anyway, she did like a retrospective of like all these movies when I was in like middle school, high school, and I watched them at that point, and I was going through like a real every movie is terrible phase.
Oh yeah.
So partially because of people like Dougie McCritic, and something she pointed out in these movies, at least I think it was her, was that all the song numbers in these movies have terrible choreography and like blocking. Like the animation of like, there's no like, there's no dances really. It's just the characters like shuffling around from like side to side.
They like circle each other a lot.
There's a lot of walking around each other, just singing at each other like it's a stage show, which isn't bad, but it's not very interesting to look at from an animation standpoint. There's definitely more they could do with it, which they do in later movies, starting with like I think particularly movie 5. I really think that the guy who started directing these movies after Roy Allen Smith is more competent director, but we'll get to that another day.
That seems to be the case.
Yeah, there's just a lot of shuffling around and like a lot of hand movements and like, yeah, I'm singing, doing a little dance.
I sure am singing.
It's that's the whole thing. So the song ends, and it's like, because I remember, I don't know if it's just the DVD version I have, or if the movie's always been like this and I just didn't notice. I remember the musical number having sort of a fade from like the sunset to nighttime, like everything's tinted blue.
Yeah.
So like, gradually over the course of the song, it eventually becomes night. But instead in this version, it's the song ends, and then hard cut, everything is tinted blue. So almost implying that either nighttime happened like that, or they just waited on that mountaintop for like a couple more hours for the sun to set.
I guess. I mean,
after that musical number, like,
it's possible. Like, what do you do after you like pack it in for a music number? You just like stand there. It's like, so what we gonna do?
Yeah.
So what's your plan?
Same thing we do every night, Strut. Try to steal some eggs.
Eat some baby dinosaurs.
Yeah, God. So Littlefoot goes to sleep, and then Sarah wakes him up, and she goes like, and she's like telling him like, shh, keep it down. Like, we don't want to wake up. We don't want to let anyone know what we're doing. We gotta sneak out. It's important. We have to talk. And Littlefoot goes, we have to talk now? Like, really loud? He's dumb as shit.
Yeah, I think I remember Littlefoot being, like, really fucking stupid.
Yeah. So they call a meeting on top of a mountain. Not the same mountain that they were just having a musical number on. It's a different mountaintop. And Sarah basically gives them a little speech of fuck adult lives.
Oh, yeah.
And, she asked them, like, I bet you all went through, like, the same speech I got. And they all say, like, yeah, we all got, like, you know, it's too dangerous to wander far from the herd. You know, we gotta be careful. And Sarah says, oh, yeah, I got, don't hang around long necks, big faces, and spike tails.
Big faces? What?
That's Ducky's, thing. Because, like... Because in the first movie, she's called her species is called a big mouth instead of a duckbill. That apparently didn't come till later, I think.
Yeah, I remember them being called duckbills. I thought you said big face.
Yes.
Not beak.
Yes.
Big, as in large.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
It sounds like an actual slur for a group of people.
It sounds like, I don't know, really dinosaur racist.
Yeah. Like,
sounds really racist against a specific dinosaur ethnicity.
They all... and they all give her the same expression of, like, what the fuck?
Dude,
like,
what the fuck is wrong with your dad?
And she's just like, oh, well, you know. Like, she's sort of like, you know how he is. Sort of is, like, the expression. And
hey, can Sarah have an arc where she stands up to her fucking racist ass dad?
We sort of get that in the next movie, actually.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like I remember that happening, but, like, good lord, like, you can't just be like, oh yeah, my dad's just like that. Like, no, stick up for your friends.
Yeah, it's wild. So they decided they're gonna run away from home and just hang out on this mountaintop forever. And I will say, it's a cool little mountaintop. They say it's like a cool hideout that, like, you know, they're up real high so they can look out over, you can see the entire valley and, like, no one can see they're up there. Because, like, there are rocks in the way and whatever. It's a cool hideout. They never use it again after this scene. Like, not only do they not use it in any future movies, they don't use it in any future scene in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting and weird, considering that, like, you know, there's so much, like, keeping a secret and whatever in this movie. Like, they have to, like, hide Chomper and whatever. Do it on the mountaintop. Why not do that?
That's true,
like,
yeah.
Why hide in just, like, we'll just hide in some brush, you know, so, like, no one will notice. We're just hanging out in some bushes and shrubbery and whatever. Like, just hang out on the mountaintop. Just go up there.
That is weird.
I guess they just didn't want to, like, they didn't want to exhaust themselves by, like, walking so much, I guess. So Ozzy and Strut steal Ducky's baby sibling egg.
Oh my god, that sucks.
Yeah. And she's like, she's yelling at them, like, give back my baby brother or sister. Like, and it's like, bold of you to assume that this baby is not going to be non-binary, Ducky.
Or born, period, I think should be the issue.
Damn, yeah, exactly. Like, jeez, this movie really says pro-life. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
I
don't think it's that deep.
It's not that deep, but, like, I feel like this movie would be used by, like, Christian parents as, like, see, Littlefoot's onto it.
See, Littlefoot is pro-life.
Littlefoot's on our side. Grandfoot's with us.
Grandfoot wants to restrict fucking reproductive rights.
So there's a bit where they're chasing Ozzy and Strut, like, into the mysterious beyond, which is what they always call anything outside of the Great Valley is always the mysterious beyond.
I remember that. I always thought it was cool.
It is cool, yeah. It gets a little lame-ish when... We'll get to it another day. There's a movie where it's just about aliens. We'll get to it another day. It's another day. Another day.
I remember the big freeze where they had to go out into the mysterious beyond, and there was that, like, shitty old Triceratops dude that was like, yeah, I did whatever.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Thicknose.
Yeah, and he, like, super lied about fucking everything.
Yeah, he was just, like, just constantly, like, bullshitting everyone. Like, oh, yeah,
I remember...
It's like Owl talking about his great-uncle Robert. Like, half the things he says is probably bullshit.
Yeah. No, I remember the specific scene where they were like, how many times have you been in the mysterious beyond? And he goes, counting this trip, once.
Yeah,
like, fuck you, dude. These are children. You are, like, leading these children to their deaths.
Yeah, God, I remember that, yeah. God, I forgot that was Mr. Thicknose's arc in that movie.
Be a fucking liar.
It's like, he's a liar, and hey, maybe don't be a liar. was his character arc. So
hold on. So I might have to go soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, I forgot you were in a different time zone than me. So I was looking at like my phone, and I'm like, oh yeah, you still have like an hour and a half. Okay, cool.
Oh,
because it's like 6 on my phone, but for you it's 7.
Yeah, I wanted to, because Felicia and I are hanging out, and I'm supposed to pick her up, and she was like, yeah, I was planning on heading out at like 7:45, and I'm like, I should probably head out at like 7:30, so we might have to take a break, because I still need to like get dressed and shit, because I am not wearing pants. Do you think you're at a good stopping point? You should, like, write down or, like, circle where you're at or, like, the next point.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely, like, press pause here and we can continue this, like, later.
Yeah.
Also, this episode's going on for... Okay, I'm gonna ask you and also the listeners this. Should episodes be... Because I was really looking at my notes for this episode being like, this won't be another 2-hour episode. And the way I'm looking at the current recording feed, it definitely looks like it's going to be another 2-hour episode. Or 3 maybe, if we keep at it at the rate we're going. So here's the thing. Should we do episodes, like, really fucking long? Or should we, like, part these, like a 2-parter type situation?
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't want to edit it into different parts, so...
Fair.
We could do breaks, though, because
I mean, like, episode 2 is, like, half of Land Before Time 2, and episode 3 is half of Land Before Time 3, or half Land Before Time 2.
Yeah, I know.
So it's, like, it's, like, different episodes with, like, their own different energies and vibes and whatever, but, like, they are different episodes, but they're about the same subject.
I feel like it'd be better to just keep it all in one. If it's, like, super duper long, then, like, fucking whatever. We don't have anybody that fucking listens to this.
Yeah, that's true.
But
we might someday, and we have 1 listener. Soon to be 2, because I'm gonna probably promote myself in that Discord stream Discord server that I'm in.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would just make more sense if we just had them be one.
Yeah, so
big ol' ep.
I'm just gonna pause the break. Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting rendition of Jessie does a plot synopsis of
what the
Land
fuck?
Before Time 2. Look,
I have never done a plot synopsis, especially not of Land Before Time 2.
Look, I'm tired.
I mean, I am not as tired as you, obviously, because I woke up like 20 minutes ago, but... But I know you got up early, but I feel that.
Regardless.
My bones aren't awakened yet.
Regardless, the show must go on. We have to keep the energy alive. We have to keep going.
I sure do have coffee.
I have a vanilla Coke. which is not as good as a Pepsi, I feel, or as good as most sodas. I don't really like Coke, but it was the only soda that had caffeine.
You're showing your allegiance to the Pepsi gang.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we all know that Pepsi says Black Lives Matter.
Oh my god, yeah, it sure does.
And so does Kendall Jenner.
Great, yeah, good for her.
Oh, good lord, I'm dying.
Oh, what music did you use for this, by the way? We could cut this.
So here's the thing.
Just the same thing.
I didn't.
Just no music. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Since it's like the first
we can work on it later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, lots of podcasts don't have music in the first couple eps. So we left off, Ozzy and Strut stole Ducky's baby brother or sister, or non-binary sibling, we don't know.
It's gonna die regardless. Not to be morbid, but they're definitely gonna eat that sucker.
So they start chase. So the crew, I guess, they're never given like a team name.
Dino Squad.
Oh god, I hate that.
Yeah, it's real bad.
The Dino Squad starts chasing after Ozzy.
Immediately uses it.
Yeah, and they start like chasing them up the side of a mountain. It's not the mountain that Ozzy and Strut were previously on, and it's not the mountain that Littlefoot, the Dino Squad, were previously on. It's another mountain. There's so many mountains. And so they're all running up the side of this mountain, and there's a bit where Ozzy's like, how big are they? And Strut looks around and he sees like massive shadows approaching, because like the light's reflecting off of them in a certain way, so their shadows just look much bigger. And he goes, oh, they're big, real big. And here's the thing, I
remember that.
This happens 3 times in the movie. 3 times where particularly Ozzy and Strut see a shadow and they assume that the thing creating the shadow is bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
This happens frequently in this movie. They go into a cave, and there's this sort of Scooby-Doo bit where, you know, in like a Scooby-Doo cartoon where they're all like running through different doors in the hallway, and like they're coming out of like different doors, and it's like, how'd they get into that door, you know? And they're like, Shaggy runs out this door, and then he runs out the other door, being chasing the monster, and then like the monster's like carrying them through the other door, like that whole bit.
Yeah.
There's something.
I shot a scene like that when I was doing. I told you about like the Swede. That I did for Jumanji for my beginning film class. Yeah, it was like similar to that, but at one point I was in like somebody's like gorilla suit that they brought in. I was like riding on the back of the guy playing Robin Williams. He was just like giving me a piggyback ride, and we were running through like the offices where like the teachers had their like.
That's so
it was like
funny.
the hallway. It was like the hallway where all of the professors had their offices, and yeah. I'm like, we are just like wreaking havoc. Okay.
That's really funny.
It was a very fun scene to shoot. I had a good time.
Yeah. So there's a landslide of rocks, and the egg is like caught in the landslide, and is safely rolled back directly into Ducky's nest.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, it's very like 65 million years before Christ was born.
Mm-hmm.
Before the first Christmas. So they all wake up in the mysterious beyond, underneath like rubble of the land. What was it? What's the term for like when? What's the term I just used for when rocks fall?
Landslide.
That's it. Yeah. And Petrie's like, "Ow, I hurt everywhere," and he like leans over on like some rocks, and the rocks shift, and like Sarah rises up out of it, and she like has
the Kraken.
Yeah, and she has like a sort of a grumpy expression on her face because she's in like pain because an entire mountain fell on her.
Yeah,
and
what a badass.
Yeah.
I remember really liking Sarah when I was a kid. She was, like, tough and cool.
Sarah was one of my first crushes, honestly.
But that's fun.
We were talking about, like, you had a crush on Petrie. I definitely had a crush on Sarah when I was a kid.
Cool, okay.
It was her and
me being a freak.
No, it was her and Cassie from Dragon Tales were my big crushes when I was, like, 4.
Oh, yeah, I remember you mentioned Cassie from Dragon Tales.
Yeah, so I've always been, like, a gay scaly.
Oh, no.
My entire life, apparently. But so Petrie says, oh, like, he's surprised, and he sees Sarah, and he goes, good Sarah. And I'm not sure what
I
that
remember
line...
that. I remember that. I remember
really
it being,
weird.
like... I thought it was kind of cute, because he was, like... He recognized that, like, she, like, not saved him, but, like... I don't know. I don't think it was, like, that creepy.
It's not creepy. It's sort of like... he's not saying, like, good, comma, Sarah. He's saying good Sarah. Like he would say, like, good puppy, almost.
I don't know. I think that's kind of, like, some shit that you and I would do.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I just thought it was, like, a weird sort of delivery.
I guess, yeah. Maybe, like, in the context of the scene, I'd be like, hey, what the fuck?
It just didn't make a whole
I
lot of
remember
sense.
that. I remember that, like, thing and being like, oh, yeah, it didn't strike me as being weird when I saw it, basically.
Yeah. I just don't fully understand, like, what that line is, like, supposed to mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
But either way, Spike, starts, like, licking Ducky and whatever, and they put a lot of detail into Spike's tongue. And, like, all
hate that.
the bumps and, like, taste buds and whatever. Yeah, it's kind of nasty.
Bad.
And, of course, they see, like, a really big egg, and they mistake it for, the one from Ducky's nest that was stolen. And they're like, how are we gonna... This egg is so big and heavy, how are we gonna get it back to the Great Valley? And Littlefoot says, oh, I know. We'll make a carrying nest out of leaves and stuff. And instead of using leaves and stuff, it's just sticks. Like, he says leaves and stuff, and then we cut to them making the carrying nest, and it's just sticks. It's just a bunch of sticks holding up an egg, and they're walking up the side of a mountain.
Oh, I remember that. The sticks were, like, really precarious and, like, really shitty.
Yeah.
I was like, these kids are dumb as fuck.
Petrie's basically holding it together. I forgot to mention this earlier, but there's a lot of Petrie being inordinately exhausted throughout the movie.
Yeah, he's like...
Like, he's just constantly like... like, he's doing all the heavy lifting, but he's not. He's usually being carried around places on, like, people's backs, and he's always just like...
I think it's because he's small. Like, the joke is that he's so small that, like, anything is exhausting. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's just a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what I gleaned from it. There's also a lot of him, them being like, how are we gonna get across? And he'll be like, oh, I know, I'll just fly. And everyone's like, yeah, cool, we can't.
Idiot.
How do we get across, you asshole?
That's so funny. Petrie says, fuck all of you.
Oh my god.
Petrie says, fuck long neck lives.
Oh no! Now he's racist against other
now
ethnicities.
Petrie's racist. Dinosaur ethnicities.
So they decide to take care of the egg and then raise it after it hatches, because they realize this isn't Ducky's sibling or whatever. So they form a polycule to be...
Yeah, they sure
its
do.
Parents. Yeah. And of course it hatches, and it's a sharp tooth, and they name him Chomper, and he's so cute. He's adorable.
He's very cute. He's very cute.
And this is...
Chomper has always been, like, fantastic.
Yeah, he's adorable. This is the third character in the movie to be voiced by Rob Paulson, by the way.
Oh, fuck!
Like, he just makes, like, the noises.
Yeah,
and whatever.
Little baby dinosaur noises.
Yeah, the little baby dinosaur chirps. He's adorable. I wrote down that Littlefoot's trans.
What?
Because he tells Chomper, you think I'm your mama, papa. Like, he stumbles a bit, and so I'm like, he's a trans boy. he had to think
not.
about it. I know.
Canon. These dinosaurs are trans.
I mean, like, the one guy had his, like, weird, like, fan fiction where, like, Strut got, like, baptized and saved by his girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking wild.
So, the other kids come back when Chomper and Littlefoot are gone, and they think that Chomper ate Littlefoot.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, which is really funny to me because he's so small. So we get another shadow fake out because Ozzy and Strut corner the kids, the Dino Squad, on like the edge of a cliff, like asking where the egg went and whatever. And then Chomper shows up to save the day, and Ozzy and Strut just kind of like see the sharp tooth like shadow, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" and they like just jump off the cliff, not even thinking. So they just
oh my god,
plummet to their deaths. And we get the third song, which is "You're One of Us Now," which is definitely I think the worst song in the movie.
I think I remember this one. I don't remember it being particularly bad, but I do remember it.
It's definitely like this is okay, first of all, we have another example of Petrie forgetting that most people can't fly, because he's telling Chomper like, "Hey, I'll help raise you, and then I can teach you to fly and whatever." It's like, fucking what? You can't just teach You could just teach a baby
like
without wings to fly. That's not
like
a thing.
in what is Petrie looking at when he's looking at all of his friends? Because like he has to know that the reason he just.
I think he just thinks he's looking at a bunch of mirrors. Like he just sees, like he just sees them all standing around, and they're all just also flyers.
He's got a very flyer-centric view of the world.
Yeah, God. Petrie says, "I can't." Petrie can't see colors.
Oh no. Petrie is not racist towards other dinosaur ethnicities.
Me no see color.
Petrie can't be.
Me no see color.
Me hate everyone equally.
Me part of antisocial social club.
God.
I saw someone in class yesterday who was wearing an antisocial social club t-shirt, and I was like, "Oh, you're cool at parties."
Wow, you're real neat. I can't believe somebody as cool as you exists in the world.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have the problem with the song ultimately is that these kids can only sort of sing.
Yeah.
And they definitely can't sing in unison. Like, they're not quite in tune with each other. So it just kind of, they're all fighting for, like, the right intonation. So it just doesn't sound quite right.
Yeah, I, like, don't doubt that at all.
Like, it's almost fine. But when, in music, if it's almost fine, it still sounds like hot garbage.
Yeah.
It's something that, like, my band director would tell us, like, every time, like, if one person is playing out of note, you can tell. And, like, yeah, it shows. Sarah, you could tell that Sarah's the boss bitch of the Dino Squad because she doesn't bother rhyming during her verse.
Oh my god.
None of her lyrics rhyme. Like, she rhymes three-horn with strong and nah, and then I think the final line is now, so she rhymes three-horn, strong, and now.
Sarah just like does not give a shit. She's
No,
like,
she
I'll
doesn't
sing,
bother.
I'll sing, but
Yeah,
just so you know.
yeah. So Sarah and Littlefoot have like a squabble over whether or not they can raise Chomper, and they have sort of a very watered down version of their fight from the first movie. Like, you remember in the first movie when they're like in the mud and like Sarah's like, your mom was an idiot and she's dead because she's an idiot or whatever, and they just like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, like Sarah's an asshole in the first movie, and they just like headbutt each other into like rocks and shit. They're like slipping in mud and like just getting like real up in each other's face and like just really like hitting each other and being like really rough and harsh. This is way watered down. It's like it's the equivalent of like shoving someone and they shove you back, and then you shove them and they shove you back.
And then I shove you, and then you shove me, and then shove.
And so they all basically decide that they don't like Chomper anymore, but then Littlefoot's like, wait, no, I still like Chomper. But at that point,
wait. No, I like Chomper. What?
Yeah, it's weird. And then we cut back to where the landslide was, and two big adult sharp teeth enter the Great Valley.
I remember them.
Yeah. It's interesting, the models they use for the sharp teeth in this movie, because it's the same models that they use for every sharp tooth in every movie, like, from now on. Again, going back to, like, what I said about, like, movie 5 having, like, better direction, that's when they started introducing, like, different kinds of sharp teeth and whatever.
Like, different colors and stuff? Or just
different colors and, like, different, like, just a different, like, the two sharp teeth in this movie are very clearly, like, it's the same model, just colored differently. Like,
yeah,
one's
I think I
like
remember one was, like, green.
What's, like, a lime green, and one's, like, a dark green. Like, a really dark green that's, like, almost black.
I thought I remember one of them being purple, but Chomper was purple.
Chomper was purple, yeah. Spoilers.
Oh, purple
it's
baby,
later,
that's so cute.
Yeah, spoilers. It's later revealed that Chomper is the Sharp Teeth's child, and that's why they're in the valley looking for him.
I always thought it was like kind of cute. They were like,
it's very cute. They're not there to cause trouble or like eat anyone. They're just trying to find their kid. It's really sweet.
I get that. Yeah,
they're like the best. We'll get to it when we eventually talk about movie 5, but like they are probably one of my favorite characters in the series, even though they have technically no lines.
Oh yeah, they just kind of go like, and then there's like subtitles. It's really funny.
We'll get to that someday. But yeah, that's one of my favorite bits in the movie. There's almost a gay allegory in movie 5. I don't know.
I remember that. They were like,
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, something's not quite right with our boy, or whatever.
I worry about him sometimes because he's like gathering fruits and veggies and whatever. And they're like, oh
my
no.
God.
We raised a twink.
Oh shit, our son's vegan.
Oh my god. And so we cut back to the cliff, and somehow Ozzy and Strut aren't dead.
Damn it.
They're just like holding on to the edge of the cliff, and they climb up, and Ozzy says, next time we look before we leap.
You should do that anyway.
Like, yeah.
You dumb fucking idiot.
Duh. Like, hey, maybe don't jump off a cliff when you see some dinosaurs coming or whatever. Just find a rock to hide behind.
Yeah, or jump, but, like, carefully.
Yeah, or, I don't know. Or just, like, push the kids in front of you. Like, you're not above that.
Yeah, like, you guys are bad guys. You eat babies. Like, fucking whatever.
So, Chomper starts to climb up a volcano, and
as you do,
and Ducky worries that he could fall into the gurgling pit because again, we can't possibly say the word volcano in this movie. We have to say gurgling pit.
There's so many better like bullshit ways of describing a volcano, like fire mountain or something cool like that.
Yeah.
Not gurgling pit. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's weird. They eventually like the volcano erupts, and starts like the lava starts to flow down, and Ducky like falls, and looks up and sees that the lava's coming towards her, and she just screams and stays still as the lava comes to her for like a good couple of seconds. Like, hey, maybe move so you don't boil alive.
Hey, Ducky, move.
Hey, Ducky, more like dumbass. Yeah, anyway. So, so the lava is, rushing towards them on one end, and Ozzy and Strut are at the other end. And they're like, what do we do? What do we do? And there's, like, a cliff, to, like, their, to, like, the left of them. And they, like, knock over this, like, rotting tree, and, like, use it to, like, cross the cliff to, like, the other side. And the lava, like, can't decide, like, how close to the tree it wants to be, because, like, in one shot, it'll be, like, right up on it, and then, like, the next shot we see it, it's like, oh, here I come. So it, like, keeps, like, backing up, to give them more space to work with. Ozzy and Strut again fall to their deaths in the canyon full of lava. Spoilers, they come back.
Yeah. Presumably to their deaths, but, you know.
Don't know how, but... and then the Sharp Teeth show up, and the Grandfoots hear, like, the Sharp Teeth, like, roaring and whatever.
The Grand Feet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Grand Feet. You're right. They, like, hear the, they hear, like, the roaring of the Sharp Teeth and whatever, and they're like, we have to warn the others. And they, like, start to walk off to, like, warn the others. But, like, there's no, they don't move with purpose. Like, they're moving very slowly. Like, you know that joke in, like, some movies where, like, the really old person is like, we have to go warn them. And, like, he goes off and he's, like, moving just,
with, like,
really
a walker,
slowly.
and he's just like, yeah.
I think that's a joke in Kronk's New Groove, where, like, the old man who's Kronk's buddy is like, I have to go help him. And he just, like, starts hobbling really slowly or whatever. I think it's in Despicable Me. It's like that, but played straight. It's really weird in this movie.
They're like, nope, this certainly isn't a joke.
No, it's totally serious.
It's like, are you sure? Are you sure it's not a joke?
Yeah. There's, there's a bit where they're just fighting off the Sharp Teeth, and the Sharp Teeth just leave. Like, they don't even...
like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? Whatever. This isn't worth the trouble. I'm out of here. And they just leave. And, excuse me, my throat is very, not clear. Let me get a drink of my Coca-Cola vanilla.
Is Coke paying you to say that?
Delicious and refreshing.
Do you have a gun on you? Are you okay?
Only $1.50 from vending machines across America.
I don't like this.
Or $1.89 in regular stores for
Jessie,
some reason.
You're scaring me. For some reason.
For some reason, it's way more expensive to get it from a store than at a vending machine. And it's way cheaper to get it from Dollar Tree. I don't know why capitalism is like this. Anyway, so the grown-ups decided they're gonna wall up the Great Valley back up again. They're gonna, like, rebuild where the landslide happened, and someone in the crowd asks, any ideas? And Daddy Tops responds with his idea, we must do it right away. Never the helpful one.
Yeah, racists are stupid. Like,
yeah,
we should know this.
They don't have a plan. He just goes like, well, we gotta do it. We gotta do something. And here's the thing. The Sharp Teeth haven't even left the Great Valley yet. Like, they're still here.
You're so doing it wrong.
You're walling them in.
With you. Oh my god.
You're trapping them inside. The call is coming from inside the house, Grand Feet. What are you doing?
Daddy Feet.
Yeah. And then it's, of course, at this point it's revealed that the Sharp Teeth are Chomper's parents. And they go off with him, and it's a very sweet little reunion. Strut, Ozzy and Strut show up and they grab Littlefoot. And Strut goes, Ozzy, can we throw him off the Great Wall? Can we, please? And Ozzy says, why? Yes. Like, really sinister. Like, Jeff Bennett is just chewing the scenery much.
I feel like this dude just had like a great time recording for this character.
Fantastic. Yeah, I feel like probably better a time than recording for Petrie, because that's just a lot of screaming and
yeah.
But like him just be like this way over the top,
just like hammy villain dinosaur that eats babies.
Like if dinosaurs had hair, like he would just be twirling his mustache, like his little spindly mustache, like
It surprises me that Strut was like, let's kill him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Let's fucking destroy the life of this tiny baby dinosaur.
The vegan is the one that's like, hey, let's commit murder.
Really He's got his priorities all wrong.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's like, eggs? No, thank you. Killing children? Oh, absolutely.
Yes, please.
I love that.
There's a stand-up bit. I forget who it is. He's talking about like gay villains in like movies and whatever, and he talks about like how like it's always like a Vincent Price character from like the 60s or whatever, and he always has like a thin mustache so that you know that something's afoul.
Yeah.
Just the way he says it is so funny.
Something's afoul. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a funny bit. You should look it up, gay villains. It's really funny. So there's another... The third shadow fake out where Chomper again sneaks up on Ozzy and Strut.
One.
Yeah, Chomper sneaks up on Ozzy and Strut, and they see the shadow again, and Strut's like, oh, it's sharp, and Ozzy's like, oh, come on, man, look. The camera just pans over, and there's Chomper, like, just hanging out.
Oh, they finally figured it out. I'm so proud.
Yeah. It's really good where he's like, oh, come on. He literally says, you're not falling for this shadow bit again, are you? It's really funny.
Sounds
like the writers
they were like, they want him to say shit, but they're not gonna let him say shit.
Yeah. Like the writers just really like they develop self-aware like sentience for like a second.
Yeah.
And then the sharp teeth show up and they chase Ozzy and Strut into the mysterious beyond, presumably to eat them, but maybe they don't. And Strut meets up with like a hot lady named Ruth, who he would later go on to be called Ruthie, and they would go off and have a kid in the Great Valley, and their kids would join Littlefoot's crew, the Dino Squad. And
Strut fucks.
Yeah, Littlefoot says goodbye to Chomper, and then it's like a nice little tearful goodbye, and Chomper, runs off into the sunset. What's it? Not Pookie. Poochie returns to his home planet, basically. And out of nowhere, all the other rest of the dinos watch open. It's like, bye, Chomper. Like, they just... like, where were they before this? Why didn't they get, like, a nice little goodbye?
Because they're not the main characters.
I guess, yeah. You know what? Yeah, they're barely in this. They barely do anything.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, like... yeah, they don't really... Sarah, I think, gets a lot more play in the next one. But we'll get to that another day. So they wall off the Great Valley, and Littlefoot turns to the camera.
Oh, God!
He breaks the fourth wall. This is I think the only time this has happened in the series. It's very strange. And he says, there, now the sharp teeth won't ever come back. Except, they always come back. The sharp teeth always find a way into the Great Valley. That happens in almost every movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the Peaceful Valley is it gets an extended reprise over the end credits, which introduces a bunch of eggs hatching to reveal a bunch of new siblings for Sarah, Petrie, Ducky, and Spike.
Cool.
Even though we never see these characters again. Like, these babies and whatever never show up, never mentioned. It's like
these parents, like, fuck constantly.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a thing that happens in, like, almost all Land Before Time movies. Like,
yeah,
they always
especially
have, like, eggs.
Especially Ducky and Petrie's parents, like, they fuck constantly. Even though they have a lot of kids, even though we never see Petrie's dad.
Ducky's mom is a MILF.
We never see Ducky's dad either. Ducky and Petrie's moms are lesbians. They're in lesbians with each other, Leo. I cracked the code. So
MILF rights.
The end credits, we see that the key animator for the movie is Thomas Decker. His last name is spelled Decker, which I thought was interesting because Thomas Decker, Dekker, would take over for voice acting Littlefoot starting in movie 6.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
So, like, they both have the same name almost, but, like, one letter off. I thought that was interesting. This movie's fine.
Crack the code, my friend.
Yeah. This movie's fine. It's not bad.
I remember liking it, like, a lot when I was a kid.
It's very cute. It's harmless. Its biggest crime is it's not as good as the original, and it's, like, very babied down.
Yeah.
In comparison to the first. But that's most movies, ultimately.
Yeah, and especially, like, directed, like, DVD sequels, like...
It's interesting that Fievel Goes West is held in such a high regard.
Is it?
People really like Fievel Goes West. Like, that's the one that, like... When people talk about An American Tale... When people talk about An American Tale, that's the first thing they talk about is, like, oh yeah, I love Fievel Goes West. Like, they think that's the one. But, like, Land Before Time 2 is the one that everyone is like, this is the worst movie ever, or whatever.
I think I remember liking that one better than the original one. Because as a kid, I didn't like the first movie because it was so sad. Like,
yeah, same here. But
I was literally, like, 4 years old, and it was, like, really depressing. I'm like, I don't want to fucking see this.
It's so depressing. There's, like, an entire, like, I don't know, 10 minutes of the movie where it's just Littlefoot sulking before he meets Ducky.
Yeah.
And the bit where he, like, talks to, like, the old man and whatever, and, like, he's like, it's not fair that she had to die and whatever, it's her fault, and he's like, oh, and, like, the old man just understands. It's, like, a really touching scene.
Yeah.
Fuck, I love that movie. I
saw it last year.
God, it's so good.
I still remember not liking it as much as I, like, feel like I should, but I don't know.
I think it's a heavy watch. Like, it's hard. It's, like, really depressing, but it has such a beautiful ending.
It's really pretty. Like, the movie
really pretty.
Is, like, absolutely gorgeous. And, like, sure, I can...
And oh my god, the score in that movie. It's one of my favorite movie scores ever. Land Before Time. James Horner's, especially the bit where... The piece where they find the Great Valley for the first time, and, like, the score, like, rises and builds, and it's so triumphant and happy. I sob whenever I hear it. It's, like, fucking gorgeous and, like, so happy and uplifting, especially after, like, such a sad,
such a slog,
somber,
right?
Yeah. Oh, you saw American Tail, like, a few months ago, too, right?
Yes.
Was it good? I haven't seen it in a very long time. I forgot what you thought. I was real
high when I watched it.
That's fair.
I, like, honestly forgot that I watched it recently.
That's fair.
I remember it being fine. I didn't like that one as a kid very much either, and I remember watching it again, and, like, I remember enjoying the heavier stuff, like when they have to change their name and shit to, like, Americanize it. Like, real ass shit like that I was really taken with, and I thought it was, like, a really cool part of the movie because it's so, like, real and, like, an experience that so many, like, immigrants went through and continue to go through, like, to this very day.
Yeah, but then most of the movie is hanging out with the Dom DeLuise cat.
Yes! That I was, like, so unimpressed with the entire movie because the tonal shifts were just so, like...
abrupt, yeah.
Yeah, and, like... It wasn't even, like, of course with movies that are downers, it's good to have some light parts or whatever, it was just like night and day. It was, I don't know. It did not flow very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I think I saw an American Tail once when I was a little kid, and I think I saw maybe like the tail end of Fievel Goes West on like Cartoon Network once. But I remember seeing advertisements for the other two movies, like Mystery of the Night Monster and Treasure of Manhattan Island, like attached to Land Before Time VHSs when I was a kid, and like. Oh, and also the songs from those movies are going to be included on the Land Before Time sing-along cassettes. And it's like, oh, good.
Oh, fucking fantastic.
Oh, yippee.
I'm so glad.
Oh, Leah, do you think I should... Should I do a deep dive episode on the Land Before Time sing-along videos?
No. No, that's, like, too much.
They have, like, added bits where it's just, like, footage of animals and dinosaurs and whatever, and like just little kids talking over it, like dinosaurs were really big and sometimes they didn't get along, and then they have a song from like one of the movies where it's like, I don't get along with you, bum bum, or whatever. Like just tenuously connected to what the little kids just talked about.
My favorite Land Before Time song, the I Don't Get Along With You song. A timeless classic for the ages.
That is in one of the movies, though. It's like, it's not like that, but it is basically an I Don't Get Along With You song.
There's a lot of those in the Land Before Time movies.
You know what? Yeah, and some, you know what? They're kind of the best ones.
Yeah.
From memory.
You know what? I was thinking, it like just popped into my head. One of the songs that I remember from one of the Land Before Time sequels, I think it might have been the Great Valley Adventure. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. I remember the tune. I don't remember a whole lot of the words. There's just this one line that always bothered me as a kid and still does. It's like they're like singing and they're like, "Yeah, the valley's cool" or whatever. It makes me think
it's from 2.
There's one line where Littlefoot sings, "What's up today?"
Yeah.
And it's just so clunky and weird sounding. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? That always bothered me. I was like, you don't say that to somebody. You just say, what's up? Or, like, what are you doing today?
But they need to have a rhyme with the word play. So...
You know, like, they were so worried about rhyming when it came to Sarah singing. Yeah.
Thanks, roaches.
Strong and 3-horn and, what's the last one?
I think it was now. I
thought it was, like, sun or something. I don't know.
It's something that, like, absolutely does not rhyme with strong or 3-horn.
You know, because those two rhyme together so well.
But, like, you know, you can make, like, a slant rhyme or, like, pronounce it in a certain way. Like, I don't know, there's songs, like, by lots of, like, artists, particularly rappers, that, like, use slant rhymes and, like, they, like, very actively, like, try and, like, pronounce words in weird ways. Like, I think there's a song on the Spider-Verse soundtrack by Lil Wayne, and one of the lyrics is, I ain't never scared, I don't know if that's a word. And I thought that was very clever.
I like it, yeah.
It's really fun.
It gets the point across. It serves a purpose.
Do you want to close out the show?
Yeah, sure. I figured we were about done.
Yeah. Oh, also, I give The Land Before Time 2 3 out of 5 eggs.
Eggs.
Not a full nest. Ozzy and Strut got some of the eggs. They ate them. They gobbled them up.
Oh no. Those babies will never be born.
They gobbled them up for appetizers. Ecstasy.
Oh fuck, I hate that. I nut when I eat eggs.
You got to smell them, feel them.
Woo! Crack them open!
Oh, I love this. I love our friendship.
What an excellent song.
What an excellent friendship we have.
That is also kind of an I don't get along with you song, but it's like a...
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
you know what?
And it's a fucking bop.
You know what? Yeah, kind of. Almost every movie, at least for the first 3 sequels, have an I don't get along with you song, and it's always like the villain's song.
I need you like a hole in the head.
And I need you like a bug in the bed.
I remember that one being like real fun. I like that one a lot as a
Who
kid.
needs you, not me? We'll get to that another day. The person who wrote that song and all the songs for movie 4 is an Oscar-winning composer and songwriter. Like, no shit. This person wrote Pure Imagination for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's fucking wild.
Did he win a fucking Oscar for that song?
No.
That is a crime.
She did like a John Williams song for like I forget. Oh, it was the love theme from Superman the movie.
I thought you were gonna say Elephant Love Medley from Moulin Rouge, and I was about to go hog fucking wild. I love that song.
So funny.
I love that song. It's very pretty. I think Tyler likes that song too, which is funny. So thank you for joining us today again on Best Boys Deep Dive. I have a topic that you have like a ton in the can, right? Like,
I have so many in the can.
You have so many. I have not been good about.
You've been busy lately, so
I really have.
I'll give you a pass for that.
I started a second job, and like my summer class has picked up just like a whole bunch. I've had an essay due like every fucking day. Like, I have not been able to start an episode, but I do have one that I want to talk about for Pride Month. I want to talk about the Hays Codes, particularly the way that like gay and like gender nonconforming people were like portrayed on screen and how those affect tropes now. I wanted to do like kind of a not like a, what's the word? I don't know. I just want to like talk about that. I think that'd be really, really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Do you want to do that like next week?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what all I'll have going on. I definitely want to do it before the end of June, but
yeah, for sure. I have so many in the can that we can pull for next week. How about, this is an easy one, I think. Oh, you know what? Since I actually I can do this one pretty relatively soonish. How about next week? I can do the Emperor's New Groove if you want.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
If you're not free to do that, to do like the Hays Code thing.
Yeah, I'll definitely need to do like a decent amount of research because like especially with anything LGBT related, it's hard to find like actual sources that haven't been buried and repressed. So I'll have to dig through like more contemporary analysis. That's the word. Of that kind of thing.
The annals of society.
The annals of society.
The Tookus. The Tushy. Yep. There's a fucking fly in here again. I think it's the same one from the beginning of the episode.
Oh no.
Bastard.
More bastardous than ever.
He's back and more bastardous than ever.
I don't like that.
He's bigger. He's more bastardous. Ladies and gentlemen, it's too much for Mr. Incredible.
Oh no. He's bastardous. Syndrome was really funny.
Oh, I fucking love Syndrome. He's such a good villain.
Yeah, he was real fun.
God, he's so good. I fucking love The Incredibles, man.
I never saw the sequel, but the first one was very good.
Yeah, the second one's pretty good. I think it gets like a bad rap because it's like
not the first one.
There was so much expectation and whatever, but like it's pretty good. Like
it's good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I also think it gets a little bit of a bad rap because Mr. Incredible's a stay-at-home dad. This is just kowtowing to feminism and blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are stupid. Women exist. That sucks.
Yeah. Fucking what?
I can't believe it.
Get that shit out of here. So, thank you for joining us on today's episode of Best Boys Deep Dive. If you've liked what you heard, please feel free to subscribe to the Media Cage YouTube channel. You can find us you can find me on Twitter specifically and on Instagram at GrinchFat. I changed my my ats on not on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm still at Grinch_fat, both on Instagram and Twitter, so
Cool.
you can find me. So I have brand synergy now.
Yeah, I was about to say brand synergy.
But it's not very good brand synergy.
Grinch fat.
Because it's Grinch fat. Yeah, it's not a good brand that I've given myself, but you know.
Oh my god. I mentioned the concept of being Grinch fat, and we decided that Felicia's cat Charlie is Grinch fat.
That's funny.
She's got like spindly like forelimbs and like hind legs, but she's chonky in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's a mood.
Love her.
Where have I heard that before?
What?
Me. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
Spindly legs and arms, but like chunky middle.
Chonky.
So yeah, you can find me at GrinchFat on Instagram and Twitter. Where can they find you?
Nowhere.
Oh, okay. Cool. Anyway, so see you next week.
Scream into the void, I will hear you. No, you can find me on Instagram at gouacheboy, GOUACHE.boy, or my art account is g.boydles, and on Twitter I am also gouache_boy.
And, is that everything? I think that's everything.
I believe so.
Cool.
Later.
Anyway. Have a nice one. And, hey, if you're hungry, have some eggs.
Great. You really drove that one home.
Thank you. I'm glad. I had to think of it up on the fly. Also, if you have any suggestions for a movie or show or whatever for us to talk about, feel free to comment or shoot us some whatever. Alright, so thanks everyone for listening. Have a lovely day. And remember that Littlefoot's trans. Goodbye.
Don't be racist towards different dinosaur ethnicities.
Yeah, don't be a dinosaur racist. No one wants you. No one will have you or your dad in the Dino Squad if you're like a fucking shitty racist.
Don't be a daddy tops because he fucking sucks. Just like consistently, he just sucks so bad.
Nah, he definitely bottoms.
Anyway, have a good one, y'all. Thanks for listening.
I thought it was
Low-hanging
funny.
fruit is the sweetest of fruit.